Africa is not poor, Africa was made poor. And every time a leader rose to change that, every time someone demanded control over African land, African resources, and African destiny, that leader was silenced. This is not conspiracy theory, this is declassified history. Across the 20th century, a clear pattern emerged. African leaders who pursued true independence did not die peacefully. They were removed, assassinated, overthrown, and the same foreign interest appeared again and again. This documentary is not about emotion. It is about evidence and consequences. Patrice Lumumba was the first democratically elected Prime Minister of the Congo. In 1960, he made one demand: Congo's vast uranium, diamonds, and mineral wealth must benefit Congolese people, not Belgian corporations or Western powers. Within months, Belgian intelligence and the CIA coordinated his removal. On January 17, 1961, Lumumba was executed. His body was dissolved in acid to erase the crime. In 2002, Belgium officially apologized. CIA involvement is documented in declassified files. Today, Congo remains one of the richest nations on earth in resources and one of the poorest in outcomes. That is not coincidence, that is consequence. Thomas Sankara ruled Burkina Faso for just 4 years. In that short time, he vaccinated millions of children, planted 10 million trees, outlawed forced marriage, promoted women into government, rejected foreign aid, and refused to pay colonial debt, calling it economic slavery. On October 15, 1987, Sankara was assassinated in a coup led by his closest ally, Blaise Compaoré. French interests have long been implicated. Compaoré ruled for 27 years under French protection and was later convicted for Sankara's murder. Sankara wanted Africa to feed itself. He was killed for it. Kwame Nkrumah was not just Ghana's first president. He was the architect of Pan-Africanism. One Africa, one currency, one military, one voice. He built schools, hospitals, and infrastructure, and challenged Western economic dominance. In 1966, while Nkrumah was abroad, a CIA-backed coup removed him. Declassified U.S. documents confirm it. Nkrumah died in exile. African unity died with his removal. Sylvanus Olympio wanted to free Togo from French economic control. He planned a national currency to replace the colonial franc system. On January 13, 1963, Olympio was shot dead outside the U.S. Embassy in Lomé. The assassins were French-trained soldiers. The shooter later admitted it publicly. Olympio became the first African president assassinated after independence. Under Gaddafi, Libya had Africa's highest standard of living. Free education, free healthcare, subsidized housing, no national debt. Gaddafi pushed for a gold-backed African currency and a United States of Africa, threats to Western financial systems. In 2011, NATO intervened. Gaddafi was captured and killed. Libya collapsed. Slave markets emerged. A wealthy nation became a failed state. They called it liberation. Amílcar Cabral led the liberation struggle against Portuguese colonialism. Weeks before independence, on January 20, 1973, he was assassinated. Portuguese intelligence was involved. Declassified records show CIA awareness. Freedom came, but without its architect. Mozambique's first president, Samora Machel, expelled colonial interests and supported liberation movements across Africa. On October 19, 1986, his plane crashed inside apartheid South Africa under suspicious circumstances. The black box remains disputed. The apartheid regime had motive, means, and location. Eduardo Mondlane, founder of Mozambique's liberation movement, was eliminated in 1969 when a package delivered to his office exploded in his hands. Portuguese intelligence planted the bomb. He was eliminated before independence was achieved. Félix Roland Moumié, Cameroon's independence leader, opposed French control. In 1960, a French Secret Service agent poisoned him with thallium in Geneva. The agent later confessed. France has never officially acknowledged responsibility. Ruben Umniobe, Cameroon's founding father, demanded immediate independence. In 1958, French soldiers hunted him down in the forest and executed him. His burial site was hidden for decades. Different nations, different decades, same executioners. Portugal and France. Apartheid South Africa, the CIA. After each death, leaders emerged who reopened doors to the same powers that had killed their predecessors. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, over 200 million people. Billions of barrels of oil. Yet poverty persists. Murtala Mohammed ruled for just 6 months. He fired corrupt officials, recovered stolen wealth, and challenged Western interference. On February 13, 1976, he was assassinated. Foreign links were investigated, but never exposed. Ken Saro-Wiwa challenged Shell Oil for poisoning Ogoniland. On November 10, 1995, he was hanged. Internal Shell documents later showed the company wanted him silenced. Nigeria exports crude oil and imports refined fuel. Fuel scarcity in an oil-rich nation. That is not mismanagement, that is design. After Lumumba's assassination, Mobutu Sese Seko, backed by the West, ruled Congo for 32 years, looting billions. After his fall, war erupted. Over 6 million people died. Today, Congo holds the world's largest cobalt reserves. Children mine it with bare hands while Western corporations profit. The robbery never stopped. Before 2011, Libya led Africa in literacy, healthcare, and living standards. After NATO's intervention, Libya collapsed into chaos, slavery, and mass migration. They destroyed a state and blamed the ruins on Africa. After Sankara's assassination, Compaoré reversed every policy. He welcomed the IMF, restored colonial debt, and opened the country to foreign corporations. He ruled for 27 years. Sankara fed his people, Compaoré fed their enemies. After Nkrumah's removal, IMF loans replaced independence. Industrialization collapsed. Africa remained fragmented, easier to exploit. 11 African nations still use a currency controlled by France. 50% of their reserves sit in the French treasury. Every leader who tried to exit this system was removed. This is not independence, it is colonialism with new paperwork. Different nations, different decades, same playbook, kill the leader. Install a puppet, extract the resources, blame Africa. Africa is not poor. Africa is being robbed every single day. And it will continue until Africans understand who killed their heroes, who installed the puppets, and who benefits from the chaos. The consequences are not history. They are happening now. Africa must wake up.